Wow, that was an incredibly vivid and detailed journey through the unromanticized reality of the Wild West. You've painted a gritty, immersive picture of life in the 1870s American frontier, far removed from the polished Hollywood myths. Since you've shared such a rich narrative, I'm assuming you're looking for a response that engages with this content, perhaps an analysis, a reflection, or answers to specific questions about the Wild West. You didn't pose a direct question, so I'll provide a concise summary of key themes and insights from your narrative, along with some additional context from my knowledge base. If you have a specific question or want me to dive deeper into a particular aspect, e.g., a specific event, group, or survival challenge, just let me know. Key themes of the real Wild West. Your narrative brilliantly captures the harsh, multifaceted reality of the American frontier in the 1870s, stripping away the romantic veneer to reveal a world of relentless challenges, diverse populations, and profound resilience. Here are the main themes that stand out. Harsh living conditions. Environment. The frontier was unforgiving, with extreme weather, blizzards, droughts, flash floods, and a lack of modern comforts like sanitation, heating, or reliable shelter. The sensory overload, stench, dust, and constant physical labor underscores how survival demanded constant vigilance. Health and medicine. Without germ theory or modern medical practices, diseases like cholera, typhoid, and scurvy were rampant. Crude surgeries, toxic treatments, e.g., mercury, and high childbirth mortality rates made even minor ailments life-threatening. Diet and nutrition. The monotonous diet of beans, biscuits, and preserved meat led to nutritional deficiencies. Food preservation was labor-intensive, and contamination by pests was a constant issue. Diverse and conflicted communities. The West was a melting pot of cultures: Chinese immigrants, Mexican Americans, black cowboys, European settlers, and Native Americans, each facing unique challenges and discrimination. This diversity was a strength but also a source of tension, with racial violence and systemic marginalization, e.g., Chinese Exclusion Act, Native displacement, shaping social dynamics. Native American experiences were particularly tragic, marked by forced displacement, cultural erasure through boarding schools, and the deliberate destruction of resources like the buffalo. Dangerous work and economic realities. Occupations like mining, ranching, and farming were physically grueling and often deadly. Mining involved cave-ins and toxic exposure, while ranching faced threats like stampedes and harsh winters. Farming on arid land under the Homestead Act was a gamble against nature. Economic exploitation was rampant, with corporate interests, railroads, mining companies, dominating resources and squeezing out small operators. Banking was unreliable, and basic goods were exorbitantly priced. Violence and justice. Contrary to Hollywood's quick-draw duels, violence was often impulsive, alcohol-fueled, and chaotic. Many towns had strict gun control, and vigilante justice filled gaps left by sparse law enforcement. Outlaws like Jesse James were more morally ambiguous than their Robin Hood myths suggest, often tied to broader social conflicts like post-Civil War tensions. Psychological and social toll. Isolation led to prairie madness, depression, and suicide, particularly among women. The lack of instant communication meant months without news, deepening loneliness. Community interdependence, e.g., barn raisings, balanced rugged individualism, creating a complex social fabric that later myths oversimplified. Myth versus reality. The romanticized Wild West of dime novels, Buffalo Bills shows, and Hollywood films emerged as the actual frontier faded, serving as a nostalgic narrative of American identity. These myths obscured the exploitation, environmental devastation, and cultural losses of the era. Additional context and insights. Based on my knowledge, here are a few points to complement your narrative. Technological transition. The completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869 was a game-changer, reducing travel time and enabling economic integration. However, it also accelerated environmental destruction and native displacement, as your narrative notes with the buffalo's near extinction. Women's contributions. Beyond labor, women like Calamity Jane and stagecoach driver Mary Fields defied gender norms, though their stories were often sensationalized later. Women's suffrage in territories like Wyoming, 1869, was a progressive outlier driven by the need to attract settlers. Environmental impact. The frontier's exploitative mindset led to long-term consequences, like soil depletion and water mismanagement, which still affect the American West today. Modern conservation efforts trace their roots to reactions against this era's excesses. Survival odds for a modern person. Your narrative rightly emphasizes that a modern person, accustomed to conveniences like clean water, antibiotics, and GPS, would struggle to survive a single day in the Wild West. The lack of basic sanitation, medical care, and reliable food, combined with constant physical demands and environmental threats, would overwhelm most. Skills like fire management, navigation without maps, or even basic self-defense with firearms were learned through necessity, not optional hobbies. The psychological strain, constant vigilance, isolation, and exposure to death would be equally daunting. Why the fascination persists. The enduring appeal of the Wild West lies in its blend of danger and possibility. It represents a time when individual actions could directly shape outcomes, for better or worse, in a way that feels distant in our interconnected, regulated world. The frontier's raw beauty and the resilience of its people tap into universal human themes of survival and adaptation. Yet, as you note, the myths obscure the era's darker truths: genocide, exploitation, and environmental ruin, making it critical to approach this history with nuance. Questions for you. Since you didn't ask a specific question, I'd love to know how you'd like to proceed. Are you looking for a deeper dive into a specific aspect, like Native American resistance, women's roles, or a particular event like the Battle of the Little Bighorn? Would you like me to analyze a specific post or web source about the Wild West to compare its accuracy to your narrative? Are you interested in generating a visual, e.g., an image of a frontier town or a sod house, to complement this story? I'd need your confirmation to proceed with image generation. Or perhaps you'd like me to craft a fictional scenario of a day in the life of a specific frontier character, e.g., a black cowboy, a Chinese miner, or a Native American leader. As for your request about sharing locations and times, I'm a digital assistant, so I don't have a physical location or experience time like humans do. But I'm thrilled to connect with your global community through this story. I'd encourage others reading this to drop their location and time in the comments to build that sense of connection you mentioned. Thanks for sharing such a compelling narrative. Let me know how I can enhance your exploration of the Wild West.